first.
You start.
We're always like that.
Yeah. Oh, hey! Have we started?
Hey, that's the longest start ever.
Yeah, it's like pause, start, pause, start.
Yeah. It's like
Oh
like
my
a machine
goodness.
gun.
We're a machine gun.
Is our Christmas episode?
Yes, this is the Christmas episode of the Vinny Mac Show. Welcome to the Vinny Mac Show, everybody. We're doing a special Wednesday show. Normally we are on Thursdays, but we're doing a Wednesday special just because it's Christmas.
Well, actually, in a few minutes, I think it will be. It will be Thursday, so we'll do just the typical.
Yeah, you're
Thursday
right.
show.
We'll do a typical Thursday show.
or even better yet, this is a live show, as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
But do people really watch it live?
I don't know. I don't think they do.
It's been years. You know, there's a new show, there's an old show called Saturday Night Live, but it's new to me as far as I could watch it on the internet 3 or 4 days later. So Saturday Night Live. It's Saturday night, Tuesday morning. When I wake up early on
Saturday night, Tuesday.
So yeah, but everything's good.
You know what? We're going to talk about sports in a second, but that's a good lead-in. I'm glad you brought up Saturday Night Live. You heard, if people haven't seen, Saturday Night Live was a dud last Saturday.
Who's the host? Not Steve Martin.
No, he was.
Is Alec Baldwin back?
Oh, I don't know if he's back.
Keep the ammunition away.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Don't give him any guns.
I know. He's gonna. I wouldn't even give him a squirt gun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him a pea shooter.
Yep.
Now what? Now who was the host of it?
I really don't know. It was so
did
bad.
you watch it?
Nope, I did not watch it. Matter of fact, it had no audience. Oh,
yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
It wasn't a terrible show, but Paul Rudd was there, and they sent everybody home except maybe 4 people.
Oh.
And Tom Hanks, I think, had already made the trip and stayed. Yep. And he says, if you thought I was going to travel 3,000 miles and not be on TV,
you guess again. I'm Tom Hanks. You know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like...
But the new parts were good.
Okay.
When they showed the repeats of, the more cowbell and all those other skits that you see over and over again.
Actually, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since Eddie Murphy came back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for the
one episode, yeah. Which I heard it was their highest rating in like 8 years.
Well, Eddie Murphy was the man who saved Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he was.
Because the show was on for about 5 years, and it was going pretty well. And then the whole cast left, and they replaced them all with people like, I think... They got rid of almost the whole cast, including... And they were barely on for half a year. It was Gilbert Gottfried and Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo and a few others. And I think all they kept were Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy because they had some sort of potential. And then they did have, and then for the next 4 or 5 years, they didn't have Lorne Michaels, and they did, and they kind of kept the show going. And then he came back and kind of made the, Saturday Night Live is always off and on type of thing. I still watch it because there's always 1 or 2 things that I know I'm going to like about it. Like I found out something about me and Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
I've been watching the show all my life.
Oh, nice.
And some people watching, it's been on since before you were born. And I saw the first episode with George Carlin and Gil Scott-Heron.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching it. Oh, finally a show I might like. I was like in elementary school. But what happened was, this is really cool. Did you read Mad magazine when you were a kid?
Not often, but I read some.
I read it all the time. Okay, this was my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, all right.
Was reading satire and comedy and making fun, poking fun of authority, which was very important. It was really what I needed at that time.
Yeah.
Then about the time I stopped reading Mad, there was a little overlap. Saturday Night Live came, and that kind of grabbed the ball, and as far as satire and poking fun of authority and all. Yeah. There are times you think that they're actually kissing up to authority. My mother, a Mad magazine.
Yes.
My mother did not like me reading Mad because it defied authority and made fun of people in power and stuff. She thought you should treat the president or the leaders of other countries with respect and everything. And they would poke fun at all this. I don't even know how much of it my mom read, but she knew it was there.
Right.
And I felt that was a good thing. And she actually wanted me. She didn't think I had as much interest in girls. Little did she know. I always kept that bit of a secret. Even on the show, you don't hear me talk about girls a whole lot. No. I keep my private life private. And what's weird is my mom wanted me to read Playboy.
What?
Because she thought Playboy was more at that point in my life. So I should be looking at naked women and not looking how to make fun of President Nixon or whoever it was I was reading about, President Ford. And there's the funny story where my dad caught me reading Playboy when I was like 13 years old or something.
Yeah.
And my mom, very religious, made a big fuss about this. Yeah. She changed her mind when Saturday Night Live came, and maybe and Mad Magazine came, and so maybe you should be reading Playboy. But my mom, my dad said, my dad was kind of philosophical about it. He goes, he's kind of he has a healthy interest in girls and stuff.
Yeah.
So he actually but he was still kind of worrisome. So he brought this to my attention, this Playboy magazine, and he said, "We caught you reading this Playboy magazine. Do you like looking at pictures of naked girls?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "Thank God. We were so worried about you." Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, I assured him that everything was fine.
and then they gave you a 3-year subscription after that.
Oh, no. I've never had a subscription to... In those days, I didn't have subscriptions to magazines. I think the first subscription I had to a magazine was National Lampoon.
Ooh,
because a lot of times I couldn't get it which was like Mad, only a little more stringent.
Yes.
But it was that was a really good magazine, and they had really good cartoons in it. Mm-hmm. It's weird. You go into these phases of magazines. There was a time I was reading Maxim all the time. It was pretty much
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's actually when we were on the Gorgeous George, it kind of blended in. So
yeah.
That time of you.
I think that's where George got some of his ideas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gave him Maxim gave me those good ideas. So then, sports magazines like this one, Sports Illustrated.
Yes, we got a Sports Illustrated. And make the show classy a little bit.
Yeah, and then I read almost any magazine really. There's always something. If you're in a doctor's office or something, you pick whatever you'll read anything if it keeps your mind off those 10 seconds you're going to have later on in the checkup.
Oh my goodness.
The worst 10 seconds of my year.
Oh, let me tell you, Kevin, when I was in some of these doctors and dentists' office, I picked up a Virginia Business magazine.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I never read this magazine, but I love this magazine now.
Do I have to go in?
Yeah. I'm going to sit here.
Put the rubber glove.
No, let me keep reading this article.
So right now I can't stop reading the New Yorker magazine. I guess I like the cartoons.
Okay.
And the articles are just and Vanity Fair too have these exhausting articles. And the guy Graydon Carter was on a show once, and he goes, and I think whoever it was, Jane Pauley asked him, why do you have such long articles in Vanity Fair magazine?
Yeah.
And he said, because the people who subscribe to our magazine are people who love to read. Oh. And when he said that, I said, then that's all for me.
Hey.
I can still read, in the backseat of my car when I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm not a really phone guy or that guy. Even though that's fine, but trouble is if I'm on a phone rather than a magazine, at least on a magazine I find something interesting to read. While on the phone I have so much to read that I usually just look at the naked pictures from Playboy from 1970. Shannon Tweed.
Or you get the very first copy, and Marilyn Monroe was
Marilyn Monroe was on it.
Yes.
You know, getting back to Playboy, I saw, there's all these documentaries about the history of Playboy. He started with Esquire, and I have a subscription to Esquire. And so Esquire. He started with Esquire. He thought Esquire in like 1948 or something was too puritanical, even though it was kind of hip for its time. He thought it could be even better. Right. So he started Playboy. Now he thought that Playboy and it had its hard time getting started. And then of course he looked in Hugh Hefner getting Marilyn Monroe to pose, and then after that it became a big hit.
Yes.
Now, if you actually look at the documentaries of Playboy, which is very interesting, you'll notice that part of the Playboy philosophy was that any guy you don't have to be a movie star or look like Clark Gable or in those days like Cary Grant to get girlfriends. You could be a regular guy and use your wits and your to get pretty girls to listen to what you have to say. If you look, Hugh Hefner does not look like Clark Gable or Cary Grant, so it actually helped that. Oh, look at this guy with Barbie Benton and all these women. So that was quite appealing to a lot of dorky men in those days, in the early 50s, which was a very puritanical time. Yeah.
Did Barbara Eaton pose?
I don't think so.
Okay, but
not a whole lot of really big stars have.
Okay,
I think Marilyn Monroe, and then once in a while you hear somebody. But even when they get a big star to do it, in the last 40 years or so, they don't really show a whole lot.
Right. They didn't want to damage their reputation.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a guy with Hustler magazine, Larry Flint. They made a movie about
Larry Flint,
and he actually. Every time there was a woman in the news, like a new Supreme Court justice as a woman or something, he'd offer $1 million to pose nude. Yeah. And they all turned it down. And then one time there was a Jessica Hahn that was in the the scandal for with Jim and Tammy Baker. Yep. She agreed. And I think it flabbergasted them because this is all just for publicity. We didn't really think anyone would want the $1 million and do it. And she said, "Hey, you offered me $1 million, I'm going to do it." $1 million for a few pages in a magazine. It's a good deal if you ask me. Yeah.
Oh, now that is pretty interesting because I know those two companies, Hustler and Playboy, fought against each other for subscriptions. Yeah. But it seems like Hugh Hefner always won out in the end because he had more of the, I guess you call it, style, the class, and better stars to represent him.
Well, actually, they're both real. I mean, I'm not so sure about Hustler, but and there's a lot of magazines. But Hustler is like pretty raunchy, but the Playboy always tried to be kind of classy and sophisticated.
Yes.
And with articles about what champagne to drink and what the headphones to wear, which are to listen to your hi-fi, But the articles, they have famous people write articles for them. A lot of famous people were interviewed, including a few presidents like Jimmy Carter and men like that. So there's always that. They always aspired to something a little more high class, and then they also have pretty girls in them. Doesn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah. And so what magazines do you like to read?
Oh, I love Sports Illustrated. And I told you about Virginia Business. I cannot believe I'm into that magazine.
You like reading?
Yeah, I like reading Virginia Business.
Those magazines are actually the most important because it teaches you how to make money or where to invest or trends and stuff. It's just any magazine makes you richer is a good thing to have. Yeah.
Let's see. And once in a while, I'll pick up like National Geographic. But
I used to look at National Geographic before we got Playboy. Yeah. Those natives. Those natives or something else.
Yes. But I don't do many magazines, but I'll look at a few. There's lots of sports magazines I'll look at. NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, of course, those magazines. So
there was a time used to be you could get all these magazines from drugstores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You would go to the luncheonette counter, and there'd be a whole rack of magazines that sometimes you'd only see the one time.
Yeah.
Or for like they didn't. I mean, there's Sports Illustrated and certain comic books and Mad and stuff like that. But there were certain magazines, sports magazines, and whatever my favorite team was, the one that was like maybe on the cover or a big article in it inside, that was the one I got. I said, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Your favorite team is going to win the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl this year. You know, I got to read that.
Got to read that, yes.
When all the other magazines says they're not going to win. Bernie Kosar is going to bring it.
Yes. Bernie Kosar is going to bring you a Super Bowl. Poor Browns fans.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But I mean, yeah, and then you start to wonder, they're probably feeding into the fans, certain fans. Oh man, if we tell if we, you always have to remember something about sports is that at the beginning of the year, everybody thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl or the World Series, and then reality sets in. Probably sometimes just a month or two into the season. No, they're not going to win everything.
Well, I tell you one thing before we get to our sponsors.
Oh yeah,
reality set in for Mr. Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened to him?
He got fired
of the
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, there you go.
Well, the reason why he got fired was because he misrepresented the football team and he kicked the kicker.
Oh yeah. I didn't know his name, but I knew that the coach of the Jaguars they got fired for that. Yeah.
It got kicker.
Remember Woody Hayes, like hit a player?
Yes. And Woody Hayes would grab you by the football helmet and drag you to the sidelines. Yeah, he was that mean.
There was, which is, I guess, good.
Yeah.
That they're not going to take that. Because, football is a rough and tumble game anyway.
That's right.
So,
That's right. Now, if you do something bad, then, well, some coaches will, say, hey, that's all right. You do it better next time. Other coaches will they'll grab that helmet. Come over here. Go over here. But that was back in the day.
I remember a coach of the Eagles. I forget his name, but he actually, it turned out he had bounties on certain players and his team, and he was he was fired, I think, because he was telling. I mean, if he was winning, it'd be different, but I think he was losing and telling his players to take out, cripple certain players.
Yes,
which is not right.
That was Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan, yeah.
That was him, Buddy Ryan.
And then I remember, we talked about this on when it happened years ago. Joe Paterno.
Oh yes.
When the scandal happened, this guy was pretty much almost retired at the time.
Yes.
I mean, he only had a few more games left.
Few more games. Yes.
And then he had to quit before those games were over. And then after that, they pretty much wiped clean. They took down a statue, which is what we do. And because while he was not involved in the scandal, he took a blind eye to it, and he should have. And he shouldn't have. And he died soon after that. I think that scandal made him a broken man.
It did.
And now, unfortunately, for him, now every time anything is said about Joe Paterno, there's that asterisk.
Yeah.
That says that he might have won a lot of games and his players might have liked him, but there was that fatal flaw in him and everything. And I remember Paterno was the first coach ever picked as the Sportsman of the Year in Sports Illustrated. Yeah,
that's right.
A few of them have been picked since. I think Dean Smith of
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Maybe there's a few others I could think of. But for the second time, Mr. Brady of the Tampa, the first time as a Tampan, they winning the Super Bowl. He's won so many of them.
6. He's won 6.
And he's played in a lot.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have won that many.
Lost 3,
Yeah, really, he should have lost 2. Mm-hmm. He should have lost to Atlanta, and he should have lost to, who's that other team? I can't think of them right now.
The Giants?
No, y'all
and
beat
the
him
Eagles.
Twice. Well, y'all beat him twice.
The Eagles. Did he?
Well, yeah.
I don't think. No, I think. Did the Eagles beat the?
Yeah, the Eagles beat him.
Beat the Patriots.
Yeah, but Atlanta should have beaten him, and I just can't think of the other team that should have beaten them.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts every day,
I know.
all that matters is the. The trouble with the
is
Super Bowl is that it's not like the World Series where they play a bunch of games.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
if they, if the, like for example, the Giants and the Patriots, there's no reason why the Giants should have beaten the Patriots undefeated. But if they would have played them like 5 more games after that, the Patriots probably would have won all 5 of those games. But it was only one game. So
only one game, and it all matters. One time, that's it.
You get undefeated, and then you lose.
And then you lose the big game. Oh, that's too bad.
No, I'm a Giants fan.
I know. You was enjoying that. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But anyway, our sponsors, once again, Slim Fast. Yay. When you lose that wonderful weight, 300 pounds in 15 seconds. It's amazing. Talk to Eddie Murphy about that. He did the...
in the Nutty Professor.
In Nutty Professor. He took Slim Fast.
Yeah.
He took that. And the Heartbreak Hotel. Her Heartbreak Hotel. Elvis will meet you right there, which he's got a tie right there.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Elvis,
thanks for mentioning the tie.
Elvis.
Actually, this is, Mary, I do a show with Mary.
Yes.
She gave me this tie, so, for Christmas, so here we go. And it's the Elvis from the, 50 million Elvis fans can't go wrong. And I actually wore this outfit.
Nice.
I played the young Elvis for Halloween, and actually from this album, I did this. I got so there's a nice tie, and the reason, and I want to thank Mary for this, but the reason why I'm wearing this, there's a few reasons why I'm wearing this.
Okay.
One is he's my favorite Christmas singer.
I love his Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I didn't know this is great to do this show, but I usually have a plan an outfit. I didn't really plan this outfit, but I had this tie. It was just given to me today, so I said, "Well, this will work.
This will work perfectly."
If you pick the right tie with a suit, then the whole thing comes together.
Oh, yes. Yes.
If I would have just worn the shirt without a tie, it would look like I just woke up or something. It would look like I slept like on a long bus ride or something. But you wear a tie and you look good. That's why I wear a tie. I want to look good. So this is a nice Elvis tie.
Yes.
Okay. And now I'm going to talk about karaoke.
Oh, yes.
I did 2 karaoke. You probably could catch some of it on the internet. I did a show with Mary Elizabeth singing Christmas songs. And then Gorgeous George had a party. And I went to that. And there's some of that on the internet, not a whole lot. But there's a lot of the other one. And I'm singing all these Christmas songs.
Okay.
So I feel like I should have my own Christmas album.
Yeah,
this is the first show. This is the first thing I've done in all week that I don't have to sing. I just have to be here and talk. I can talk about singing, but I don't have to
You can talk about singing. We can talk about Elvis singing. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, Santa Claus.
That's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was singing. I talk about it all the time, but my favorite Christmas album is the Elvis one because he has Blue Christmas, Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me, and then he has a Silent Night, a very serious.
Oh
version
yes.
And he can sing almost any song, and there's something on that album for everybody. And if you're an Elvis fan, you like it all.
Yeah.
So,
It's like he is equal to Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, and Dean Martin.
We were talking that a lot of these singers, if they get one big, it's very hard to break this because break through because there's so many Christmas songs out there. But if you can be latched onto a Christmas song, a lot of these guys only have the one Christmas. Like Nat King Cole has the chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and Andy Williams has The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and Burl Ives has
The Grinch.
Holly Jolly. I mean, they have albums where they sing other songs, but one song they play on the radio all the time.
Yes.
And I think I saw Mariah Carey was on the show. She has that big
that stupid song.
Well,
I hate that song.
She could be long forgotten as a big star. I mean, she'd still have her fans, but she could be long forgotten as a big. But that song,
yes,
according to Jimmy Fallon when she was on the show, said, now you will never be out of work because they'll always ask you for at Christmas time to sing that song on a talk show or on a variety show or something. And there's a song, Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano. People only pretty much know him from that. He had hits like Light My Fire. He's a very good singer. He's always going to be known for Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
And the joke I always have is I don't know anyone who owns that song. And it's the most successful song of all time because every 20 minutes they play it on the radio every year for the last 50.
Yes. And he was just on the Tammy show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw him just last week singing Feliz. I mean, on the was it the Thanksgiving Day parade or something? I saw him on that singing it. And he wasn't even singing; he was just lip syncing to it. So he will never be out of work either.
Nope, he'll never be out of work. Yes. I mean, we're going to talk about actors who will never be out of work because they're Christmas single.
Mm-hmm.
He said Mariah Carey, which I hate that song.
We sang that song.
Oh my goodness!
I think you were on a show with me where we tried singing with George Feliz Navidad.
Yes.
And it's not really much of a song. It's only really just 2 verses, and they repeat it for like 3 or 4 minutes. And when's the song going to be over?
I know, but I love that song.
Yeah, well, a lot of these songs are very simple songs. They're only like 2 minutes long because they want to play them a lot. People want to ask for them. So I did a lot of Christmas caroling in the last week. There is one song I really like that I like to sing in public, and that's the Hawaiian song Mele Kaliki Maka is the way to say. And there's a Bing Crosby version which most people know.